Hey, it's Amy, and I just wanted to give you a quick rundown on my NCLEX. I took my NCLEX on Friday, July 8th, 2016. Right now it is almost 1 a.m. Saturday night, Sunday morning, so I have not gotten my results yet. And so let me just tell you a little bit about my test. I took it in Roanoke, Virginia. First of all, that facility is awesome. The lady that checked us in was really nice. The man that was in the little room behind there was really nice. They made us all feel comfortable. And so we went down Thursday night and spent the night. And from pretty much 10 minutes after I scheduled the test until Thursday, I've been a nervous wreck. I've psyched myself out a million times. I've been nervous. I've been excited. I've had so many different emotions. I can't even tell you how I have felt. So we go down to the hotel Thursday. I try to go swimming a little bit, try to relax, just try to get my mind off of it. And my fiance went with me. I'm glad he did. And so Thursday night I was a little bit nervous, but not real bad, but I mean I was nervous. Friday morning I woke up not nervous at all. Like I had no nerves. I'm not quite sure why not, but Friday I just had this calm feeling. I wasn't psyching myself out like I had been over the last 2 weeks. There was just this unbelievable calm. I got up. I had my alarm set for 6, but I actually woke up before that, and about 5:30ish, I would say. Got up, got dressed, got ready, went to the hotel lobby, got some breakfast, went back to the room, lay down for a little while, just lay there and watch TV, and we left the hotel about 7. We were at the testing site by 7:15. You're supposed to be there a half an hour before your test time, and my test time was 8 a.m. And so we got there at 7:15. The door wasn't unlocked yet. A few minutes after that, they unlocked the door, so we went on in, or I went on in. He left. They don't. There's a note on the thing that says no family or friends allowed unless you happen to be testing with somebody that's a friend. So I'm sorry, my hair's bothering me. I don't know what it's doing tonight. So anyway, I went in. I was number 3 in line. And there was a man in front of me that was number 1. There was a lady in front of me that was number 2. And then like 4, 5, and 6 had come in behind me. So we were all sitting there with our little numbers. They gave us a paper to read that tells you the rules. And I would have, if he hadn't been with me, I would have just left my cell phone and stuff in the car. But because I needed it to be able to call him to come and get me, which I didn't think I could have written in the hotel room. See, I wasn't sure if he was going to go back to the hotel, and then if I was past 11 o'clock, which was checkout time, then I would have to call him, and I wouldn't know where he was. And so I told the lady, I said, I brought my cell phone, but it's just to call him, otherwise I wouldn't have brought it. And she said, well, that's no problem. We can just put it in one of the Ziploc bags. So they put it in this bag, and then they flip it over, and they seal it. And then it needs to go into a locker with all of your other stuff. When you come out on your breaks, you can get to your other stuff, but that bag that's sealed has all of your electronic kind of stuff in it, like a smartwatch or a phone or anything that you can get on like the internet with. And she said, I have to be the one to open that. So when you get your stuff out of your locker, when you're done, I have to be the one to unlock that or undo that bag. It needs to not be tampered with at all. So that was fine. I wasn't going to tamper with it anyway, but so then you go to this other little room, and there's a man sitting in there, and there's this like like big, not really a U shape, but kind of like an L shape of computers, and they just reminded me of these little cubicles like you see in offices where there's a desk, a computer, and then there's walls on both sides of you that go all the way, that go up so that you can't see the person beside you. And so you go to your computer, the one that they check you in. So when they check you in at the beginning, they look at your driver's license, they take your picture, they do a palm scan on your right hand, palm scans on your left hand. You have to take it off, put it back, take it off, put it back, a couple of times. And then when you go back to the other room, the only two things that you're allowed to take back with you are your driver's license, because that's your ID that they use, and your key to your locker are the only two things you're allowed to take back. You can't take keys, nothing like that. So you take those two back, they look at your driver's license, they check you in, and finish registering you and checking you in. You do a palm scan, and then you take your driver's license and your locker key into the computer room with you, and you go back to your computer the computer, it tells your name is at computer number 2. I was at computer number 2. So I'm at computer 2. And you have to raise your hand for everything. You have to be escorted in the room, escorted out of the room. It's very, very high security, which I don't blame them, but it was odd for me to do this because I've never done a test like this before. So you put on the headset. There's a headset attached to each computer, and that's because according to the website, the NCSBN website, you can go on there and look at like your candidates and stuff, like information with percentages of what kinds of things are on the test, and then you can look at what kind of questions, like alternative format questions. And there's NCLEX books that'll give you alternative format questions, and websites and stuff. Like you can get audio questions, you can get exhibit questions. I mean, there's select all apply, of course, everybody's favorite, multiple choice, all kinds of different stuff, and it'll tell you all the alternative hotspots. I think that's what they're called, where you get something and you have to click on where you would listen to something, or where you would listen to a fetal heart rate, or I don't know, like where would you listen for this type of cardiac. I don't even know what kinds of questions there could be, but it's where you have a body or you have something and you have to click on it to tell it where you would do that assessment or whatever it is, whatever they're asking. So you do this little tutorial thing that you put your headphones on, and it'll say hit play and turn the volume up and down, and so that you make sure that you can hear it, that it's working, because you don't want to get in the test and then your headphones aren't working and you can't hear the audio if you have an audio question. And there's like 9,000 questions, and you get anywhere from 75 to 265, so you're never ever going to get the same test as somebody else. And I mean, the odds of that are extremely high, and like especially, I mean, you could go in and take the test again and not get the same test. So and I took my RN, so it's 75 the minimum and 265 is the maximum. So I'm going through the test, and I get to question 40 or 45 or something like that, and I'm looking and I'm going, okay, 30 more to the minimum. I have to do at least 30 more. And then I get to question 60, 55, and I'm like, okay, 55, I've got 20 more, but I'm not doing so good. I was feeling so bad about my questions that I literally just wanted to get up and just raise my hand and say, I'm done. I don't know this information. I'm not doing well. I'll just come back and do it again. I'll study again. And I mean, I really just, that thought went through my mind, and I'm like, okay, no, you've only got 20 questions left to get to the minimum. Just keep going. Just keep going. Just do the best you can and keep going. If you get 150 or 265 or whatever, just keep doing it. And so I put that out of my head, and then and if I started to feel not nervous, but if I started to have those thoughts of, I'm not doing so well, I don't know the answers to these, I don't know this medication, what they're asking me about, I don't know these things, I've never heard of this before, I don't know what to do, I just kept remembering how I was taught to answer these questions, because there are going to be questions on there about things that you don't know. There's no way that you can study 9,000 worth of questions. There's going to be stuff on there that you have not covered, you do not know, medications you don't know, symptoms you don't understand. I mean, not necessarily like the words, the words, but like you don't know what the medicine is, so you don't know what the symptoms are, or you don't know what this is treating, or a lab value just went completely out of your head. There's so many things that could go on a question that just makes it so that you don't know it. It's not like, a lot of times in school, especially like in anatomy, I mean, a bone is a bone is a bone. The bone is in the same place in every person. The bone is the same name in every person. The bone has the same characteristics pretty much in every, I mean, a bone is a bone. And it's a memorization. You memorize where they are. You memorize which ones where and which ones, long, which ones are short, which ones are this, which ones are that. It's all memorization. This does not, you can't memorize this entire information. You can't do it. I don't know of anybody that could do it. And if you can, okay, you should be a doctor. Why are you taking the RN exam? You need to be taking a doctor exam. So you just can't. So you're taught, after you graduate school, you're taught with some of these online programs. Like we had Kaplan. So we were taught how to answer questions that you don't know, how to get to the right answer even if you don't know the answer, because there are going to be questions you don't know. You just can't know it all. So I started thinking, all right, well, how do I get the answer to this when I don't know this? And I felt like I just didn't know any of the answers. I knew like maybe five or six, maybe 10 of the questions. I think I actually knew the answer. And then I thought, oh great, I know these answers, so I must be like really low level questions. I'm going to get all 265, or I'm going to get like way up into the 100s or 200s, because I'm right there on that line, because the ones that I'm getting right are low level questions. And oh my goodness, that means I'm going to be failing, and I'm just like panicking. So I get to 75, which is the first time that it can cut off, and it can cut off any time after that. And so I get to 75, and when I go to answer that question, I click on the answer, and I couldn't give you questions and answers even if I wanted to. Even if I was allowed to, I couldn't, because they're all such a blur. I just remember 75 was there. I clicked next. But right before I clicked next, I clicked on the answer. I read the question. I read the question. I read all the answers. I read the question again. And then I went back to the answers again. And that's how I did pretty much every question. And I read that. I looked at the answers. I chose my answer. I took a deep breath. Closed my eyes for a second. Opened them. And hit next. And the screen popped up blue. My test cut off at 75 questions. I'm getting emotional thinking of that, because when that blue screen popped up, I went, really? It cut off. I don't have to answer anymore. And then I'm thinking, oh gosh, I failed. I failed in 75 questions. God, I really must be stupid, because to fail in 75 questions, your computer has to say with 95%, I think it's like 90 or 95% certainty that you're not going to pass this test if you continue to take questions. And on the other hand, it has to say that you are, do I think I failed them all? No. Did I think at 75 that I had 95% accurate? And I mean, like the computer would say with 95% certainty that I was good enough at those 75 questions to continue and pass? No, I wasn't. I cried when I left. You have like a 16 question survey, like, you know, how did you I don't even remember, like, how did you sign up for the NCLEX? Did you do it on the website? You know, I don't remember. It was like a little survey thing, and the people were wonderful, so I put strongly agree for everything, because everybody I have dealt with through this whole process has been absolutely amazing. Even the problems that I had getting my ATT, when I finally got a hold of a person that understood what I was saying, they took care of it like that, and 11 minutes later I had my ATT. So, I mean, everybody that I've dealt with, from the board to Pearson to the testing center, all of them have been absolutely amazing. Busy as can be, I'm sure, but absolutely amazing. And so I got outside. My test time wasn't supposed to be till 8, but I started early. I don't remember exactly what time, because my watch, you couldn't have your watch, so I left it in the car. You weren't allowed, like, earrings, so take your jewelry off. You're not allowed to have a lot of jewelry. So I had to take my glasses off. I'm not having them on right now, but I had to take them off and, like, show them that there was nothing, like, no kind of hidden cameras in them or anything. And I told him, I said, well, I mean, if I need to, I can leave them in the locker, because I can't see close up with them on. I'll have to take them off to take the test anyway. So if you want me to, I can leave them out there. And he's like, oh, no, you're fine. And I said, well, I can't use them to take the test anyway. They're not readers. They're for far away, and I can't use them up close. So anyway, and they look in make sure there's nothing, like, in your hair, and it's really secure. And he said that your driver's license you'd have to show, and you have to palm scan in and out, if you needed to go to the bathroom or something. And you have, like, 2 scheduled breaks, but I didn't get to either one of them, because at 9:04, according to my phone, at 9:04 is when I called Daryl to come get me, and my test wasn't supposed to start till 8, but it did start early, probably 7:35, 7:40 maybe. So, like, an hour and 20 minutes. And the first 5 minutes of my time was the tutorial, because that does start your time, but it's like 4 minutes, 5 minutes. And I actually did longer on the tutorial than I actually needed to, but because it'll walk you through how to pick all the different kinds of questions and stuff. And yeah, so anyway, I finished in a little over an hour, and I cut off at 75 questions. So we leave the testing center, and we're getting to get ready back onto the road to come home on 81, and there's a Subway there, and I was like, all right, let's stop at Subway and get something to eat. So I hadn't really had that much breakfast. I just ate something small just to have something in my stomach in case I was there for 4 or 5 hours, or the full 6 hours. I just wanted to have something, and I had, like, crackers and water in my locker if I needed them. But so we stopped at Subway, and while I'm sitting there, Daryl said, like, aren't you going to eat? And I'm like, yes, I'm going to eat, but I want to do something first. And he's like, what? I did the Pearson Vue Trick. And for those of you that don't know, Pearson Vue Trick is, if you go onto Pearson Vue website and you click on register, and it'll ask you questions like you're registering for the test for the first time. But it'll say, have you ever taken this test before? Yes. Have you ever applied for another NCLEX? Have you ever taken the exam before? Yes. Have you ever applied for an exam for this one before? Yes. Have you ever taken another NCLEX exam? Like, if you're an LPN, you would say yes because you've taken it before. And I said no, of course. And then you go through all the information and you register. You put in your credit card information. Now, it has to be a valid credit card. I did put in a valid credit card, but it didn't have $200 on it. So if they tried to take it, it would probably decline it because it didn't have enough money on it, but it was active. It has some money on it, just not $200. Well, it's a really small credit card. I don't even think it has more than a $200 balance, period, and there is something on it, so it wouldn't take it. So anyway, it had only been like 10 minutes, maybe 15 minutes since I'd taken the test. So I get, you go through, you're on page 2, and it says submit order. So you go down to the bottom, because it says at the top, that your order's not valid until you hit submit order. So you go down and hit submit order. If it goes to page 3, which is your receipt, if it goes to page 3, then that means that you have failed, and if you have a credit card that has $200 on it, it took you $200 so that you can re-register. If you get a pop-up that says, our records indicate that you have recently scheduled this exam, another registration could not be made at this time, that is the good pop-up. That is the one that means that you've passed, because it won't let you take it twice. So you've passed. So here's mine. See that little red triangle there? That's mine. And that's the good pop-up. It won't let you go to page 3. It'll just stay right there on page 2. So mine is giving me the good pop-up, which means that I might have passed. But until I get my results on Monday morning, I don't know. I'm supposed to start my job Monday morning, and I've already talked to the lady that is sending out because we have 3 hours of online orientation our first day, and that's like, it just goes over stuff, maybe like insurance stuff. I mean, it's like a 3-hour online orientation, and can be done at home. And she said that they send out emails at 8 o'clock, 10 o'clock, and noon. She said, do you think I'll be able to verify you before 8 a.m.? And I said, no, the Board of Nursing doesn't even open until 8:15. So no. They've been posting them around 8:45 to 9 a.m. And she said, well, I will look at 9 and see if I can get you in the 10 o'clock email for instructions on how to complete the online orientation. So I'm waiting. I would know if I would have taken it on Thursday. I would know by now. I would have known this morning. This time tomorrow night, I don't know if I'm going to be able to sleep. I'm emotional. I'm worried. I'm scared. My brain knows that most people, the people in my class that have gotten 75 questions have passed. My brain knows that the Pearson Vue Trick says I get the good pop-up, so that means that I might have passed. I also have heard the Pearson Vue Trick is not 100% right all the time. And I was so upset during the test that I really seriously just wanted to get up and leave, because I felt like I was doing so bad. And when I would get that feeling, I just like close my eyes, sit back a little bit, take a deep breath, focus on the question, focus on the answers, remember what I was taught, remember what Kaplan taught me, how to answer a question you don't know, how to find the answer that is the safest answer for any patient, even if it's some of the stuff can be the safest for any patient. It doesn't have to necessarily be that patient. It can be any patient. What would be the safest thing you would do for them? What would be the things you would check first? What would your priority be for that patient? For any patient, even. So that's the critical thinking part. That is what you need to know how to do, and that's what's going to get you a pass on the NCLEX. So I'm going to end this one now. I will do an NCLEX review. I probably won't do another part of this video tomorrow because I honestly can't do it. I'm getting emotional now. There's a lot riding on this test. I spent a lot of years, and I'm very excited, and I'm very nervous, and that degree that I have is a wonderful thing. I can't wait to get my degree in the mail. But without passing this test, that degree doesn't mean anything. I can't use that degree for anything if I don't pass this test. So, without a passing grade on this test, that degree means nothing. It means that I spent a lot of time studying and a lot of money and don't really have a lot to show for it other than a piece of paper. I think that's why people freak out over the NCLEX, is because it does mean so much. So, wish me good luck. If you say a prayer, even though the results are already in, they're already done. Whatever I've got already. There's no way to change it. I just don't know what it is. So I will do a reaction video of myself getting my results, because and I will put that as a separate video from this one because I don't want to make it too long. So I'll see you guys soon. Wish me good luck, cross your fingers, and come back on Monday to see if I passed or I failed. And we'll see if the Pearson Vue Trick worked for me, right? And then I can start my orientation on Monday and actually go to my new job on Tuesday. I've already got my schedule. They sent me my schedule on Friday. On the way home from the NCLEX, I opened my email as I was talking to my friends. Oh my God, I failed. And as I was talking to them and making sure that really was the good pop-up and did it work for them, and open my email, and here's the nurse educator. Hey, here's your schedule starting on Monday. And I'm like, I hope that's my schedule. Alright, I'm going now before I cry. Okay, I love you guys. I'll see you soon. Don't forget to come back on Monday. Bye. Oh, and if you're watching this after Monday, just go to the next one. It'll be the next one.